out when we're done, obviously, but it's nice to look outside.
We're making the change.
Hoping the sun doesn't come up before we get out of here.
Oh, that's
Kind of slow these days, I'm sorry.
That's not a good way to look at it.
It's okay. Got everything I need.
You guys ready to go? Okay.
Ready?
All right, I would like to call Independent School District 721 to order. Please note that all school board members are in attendance. Let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved?
Second?
And first and second, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. All right, so our purpose for this special meeting tonight is to interview, there's 4 candidates. Appreciate these people stepping up and applying for the position, that's for certain. So we'll have 4 candidates, each one slotted for 5:30, 6, and 6:30, so each one's gonna be about a half hour. We have 8 interview questions for each candidate, and from there, I think at the end, we'll deliberate, and then we'll have a ranking system I'll go through later, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. So, first off, we have Jean Schmidt, so
Hi, Jean.
welcome. Give you a few seconds here. How long as you need to get?
Is Jean,
My phone's off.
I'm gonna make sure that Jean has Jean,
The
do you have the
questions?
questions in front of you?
Okay.
There?
Make sure you talk right into the microphone so I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's some water there too, just in case you. It's always difficult when all of a sudden you can't talk anymore. So, all right. So, like I was just saying before you walked in, there's going to be 8 questions. Each of us are going to ask a question. I think you've been given the questions ahead of time. Thank you for coming in, and then we'll go from there. So, each additional candidate. So, I'll start off with the first question. So please tell us about yourself and your background and why you have applied for the vacancy on the school board.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It's an honor to be here, and I'm so thankful for all of you and everything you do for our school district and our families and our kids every day. It's a sacrifice, and I want you to know we're really grateful as a community. So my name is Jean Schmidt, and I grew up on a dairy farm in Farmington, Minnesota. My dad, when I was in high school, retired from dairy farming and switched jobs and became a minister, and kept the farm, and actually started a church in Cannon Falls, Minnesota. And then when he retired from that, now he's 83 and he's the chaplain at Trinity Care Center in Farmington. And for a number of years after he retired, he worked for District 917, and that is it's actually a conglomerate of districts in southeast Minnesota, and he worked as a para. It's for children with special needs. It's really amazing. He did that for a number of years too. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she was also a para at Rosemont Middle School when me and my sisters and I went there. I graduated from Rosemont High School in 1991, and I graduated from Bethel College in 1996 as a registered nurse. And pretty soon after I graduated, I got a job at Rosemont Elementary School, stayed in Rosemont, a lot of my family's there, and I worked there for about a decade, and that's really where I gained an understanding of what goes on internally in the public school system. My husband opened a business in the meantime, and after I started working with him right away just because he needed the help, opened up a business, and probably about 10 years into working at Rosemont Elementary, then I left there. We had our 3rd son, and I started working with him full-time. So stayed at home and also worked with him there, and worked in a role of management, cleaned the bathrooms, budgeted, ran the books, everything behind the scenes. We have got 5 children. We live on a little farm between Elko, Newmarket, and New Prague, and we have 4 sons and 1 daughter. Our oldest 3 children graduated from New Prague High School, and we have a junior and a 6th grader still in the schools. So right now, I am with my husband at his business, and the things that I listed, I still do. Still clean the bathrooms once in a while, but it's really enjoyable. I'm really applying for the vacancy in this job because it's for the kids, and I think being a little older and having children that are older and have come through the schools, I really see the value of being a part of the school, and I feel like our kids are worth it. They're the future of this community. They will be the future business owners. They will be the participants in our community. They'll be the leaders in our community, our workforce, and I think they're worth it. And another reason is for our family, it's really important to be serving in some kind of a role that's beyond our own gain. And so I would like to do it for that reason. And then really, I just feel like it's kind of a calling that the Lord has called me to. So I'm here.
All right, thank you.
Hi. New Prague Area Schools has a proud tradition and promising future. What do you see as our school district's greatest strengths and greatest challenges?
Well, simply put, I think the greatest strength we have is our people in our district. And I think that starts with the children. Again, just going back to what I mentioned earlier, our children are the future of this community. And coupled with our staff, who I really truly believe are some of the greatest people in the world. They are the ones who are nurturing the students in our schools right now. And of course, the bedrock of our community is our families. And so, yeah, I think that's our greatest strength, just really simply put, of our district. And I would say the greatest challenge, what's right in front of me, just because I've been involved, is the levy not passing and how we are handling the budget cuts. I do think that we have got the right people in place. I have a great respect for Sandy Lynn. I am sure that she has worked with people close by to give her advice and how to move forward. And of course, Mr. Volmuth and you, the board, trust that you have taken the strides necessary to make the budget cuts that you feel are necessary. Right now, I was just having a conversation with someone the other day because we face this in our workplace. The response of our staff and their resilience will be key in how this goes. We are faced with things. We can't help what comes at us, but we can help our response. So I feel like that's the greatest challenge, but I do feel like we have it in our people, in our community, and our infrastructure to win, that there will be gains in this. It's not a loss. It's unfortunate, in my opinion, that it didn't pass, but there's something to be learned, and I think our community will do that.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Denny, you're third.
I'm sorry, I was writing that. Jean, what would be your short-term and long-term priorities if you were to be appointed as a school board member?
Well, in short term, I think for me, I deal with finance every day in our business, and I think the budget cuts and really understanding the implications of it and how it will be implemented, to me is significant. I would want to know, just really understand it and then know how I could be helpful with it. And I think the long-term priority, there's a lot of things on my mind, but one of them is I would intend to, if you would choose me, I would intend to run again in November. I feel like I'm smart enough in business that by November I'll probably just be scratching the surface of what this is all about. And I feel like for the community's sake, a long-term investment would be important to me. But priorities other than that, I would really want to have a firm understanding of the vision of the school district, the strategic plan in our finances, things, community relations. I feel like that is so significant. We have got to have the trust of the people. And I would want to be involved in our public relations. And then just another thing that I do in business is have a firm understanding of our numbers and metrics. And I mentioned it's not rocket science. What's not rocket science is numbers. What's difficult is people. There's people involved. And the shift that's coming because of these budget cuts it's going to be difficult. But I do think if we have data and we're able to analyze data and we have, or we're able to create a strategic plan and forecast, that would be a long-term goal of mine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dean, what do you see as the role of public education in the modern society?
It's a great question.
Thank you.
I thought about this. I think as a taxpayer, just to give a silver lining, we are stewards of the taxpayers' money, and the taxpayers vote for the people that are put in positions of authority that hand mandates and laws down to us, and we're subject to those. And the public school system is in a really unique position because we're funded by the dollar, the taxpayer's dollar, which is decided on by the people that we elect into positions. So it's unique. Nowhere else has that. And so I think it's so imperative that we are stewards of it. And I know that you all take that to heart, and I appreciate that. With regard to the role of public education, very simply put, is to raise these young people to prepare them for the workforce, for college, for whatever they decide to do, so that they go out and they're as prepared as they can be to be a productive citizen, and really, as a business owner, to further our democracy. That is what we want. We want people to function at their highest level, and I think the school plays a significant role in preparing the child to be that person for the benefit of everyone.
Please discuss what you see as the board's role and what you see as a superintendent's role in running the school district.
I see the board's role, and this I have learned based on the packet I got, this information, so I'm still learning. But I see the school board's role, my understanding is that it's to govern the school district and to set policy. And I see the school board's role to be really have a deep understanding of what the desires are of the community for education for the children in the community. I see it as a role that works in tandem with our superintendent. I see the school board's role as listeners, diplomatic people who are level-headed and have a lot of common sense. I guess is my hope. The superintendent I see similar, but I see the superintendent as the one who understands the policies that are set and then comes up with a way to effectively implement those policies, that he or she would lead the district and also would work in tandem with the school board and would be really the representative for our district, but would work closely with the staff.
Jean,
Patty.
please describe a time when you exhibited leadership in the greater community.
That is a super fun question to answer. I was able to, this fall, be part of our Promising Futures, I can't believe it, I'm on the spot now, I forgot, Proud Tradition Promising Futures Levy campaign. I'm sorry. I've practiced this over and over. Anyways, it was just super enjoyable. I was a co-leader and just brought together really incredible people in our community that support education. And in this particular facet, we're supporting the levy being passed. We're supporting the funding. So I worked with a group of people that were heavily invested and remain to be in our community. And I co-led it with a number of other people, but my job was to work with volunteers, which was so enjoyable. We basically brought together volunteers that wanted to serve in a capacity to basically distribute information about the levy, encouraging people to vote, and in our case, encouraging people to vote for the levy. And then we would, just as in any problem solution, we created our plan, and then we executed our plan at various places. We showed up to present information, and then we would come back, meet together, talk about how it went, how we could do things better. And we worked with several different groups of people. It didn't pass, but I'm optimistic that best decisions will be made going forward. And then I also, right now, am the treasurer for the Booster Club for the high school boys and girls lacrosse team, and started that, its inception. I think it's been about 6 years that it's been a sport, 5 or 6 years. So I'm the treasurer and basically help set the budget and then help monitor the income and the expense and come to regular meetings, and we discuss how our money's spent and how we're fundraising, and really go after what the wishes of the coach are, what they see to be valuable to the team and the team. And I did that for the hockey team too for a number of years, which was fun. But probably the most fun thing I do right now is, by the way, if I did talk to that board, if you would choose that I would take the seat, then I'm going to step away from that role. And so they know and they're aware and they're good with that. For 18 years, my family has been involved with a ski club at Buck Hill. And it's just a grassroots effort that started many years ago, not school-related, not church-related, just a group of friends that got together, and Buck Hill has given us an amazing low rate. It's not the most affordable sport, so Buck Hill has really encouraged kids to come out. And for the past 5 years now I've run it, we have 307 people that are on my list, and probably a third come from the New Prague area schools. It's super fun. I facilitate it. I get the information out. They sign up and go, and it's so good for the kids. It's good for the kids to be exercising. It's good for the kids to be in a community, exercising their mind, being in relationship with each other. It's really one of the most rewarding things I do because I get to be with the kids.
Thank you.
What skills or attributes will you bring to the school board that will help us govern even more effectively? What support will you need from school board members as you transition to this role?
That is a good question. I think so my husband and I started this business that he has 25 years ago. And we have had lots of wonderful years, and we have had some really difficult years. And the last few years have actually been our most difficult years. So we have amazing staff, we have amazing clients, and what really lies between them is the business. And so, as a business owner, you learn to be humble. It requires that if you want to stay open. So very simply put, teachable. We have to be, we can never be in a passive role. I can never be in a passive, I always have to be in an active role. And so it's always challenging me to dig deep and to try and understand processes. And one thing that I've come to appreciate is there will always be issues. There will always be problems. But we have to come to the table, my husband and I, with the belief that we will find the solution, and we will try to find the best solution for this, the situation that presents itself. And so I think for us, it's identifying things, it's working through things and turning every stone over. And then it's being decisive and coming up with a decision. And he and I often actually don't agree, but we have realized that our unity in the end is what is actually most significant. So if I were to be in a board position with you, I want you to know I understand the value of everyone's role and the significance of all of us representing our community in various ways. That's our responsibility to come to the table here. We're representing the people, not ourselves, and to be a steward of that, and then leaving ourselves at the table, really, and coming to a decision. And I think variety and creativity and all of those things help contribute to the best. Once a decision is made, we're in it together. And we walk out of here and it's done and it's good. And so I value that a lot in our business. It's lots of innovative thoughts, lots of creativity, lots of anything, other things. But I don't know if that answers it. That was really actually a hard question for me to answer.
That was good, thank you.
Okay, you're
All
welcome.
right, so I have the last ones to wrap up. So please provide a closing statement regarding why you would be appointed, or why you should be appointed to the vacant seat on the school board.
So I love the New Prague Way, and you're probably all very familiar with it, but it is to do what's right and commit to excellence and show others that you care. And I hold all of that very dear, and it makes me endeared to this school district. It makes me value what our motto is out there and what we are asking of the kids. I think they're capable. Our community believes they're capable. Our staff believe they're capable, and it's really the way that if we could choose how we live within our home, how we would live, and that coupled with my worldview is based on the standards of the Bible, and so I think between the New Prague, our motto, and my biblical worldview, that's what I bring to the table, and if you'd have me, I'd be honored to be here. I think you have got 4 really excellent people coming to the table today, and I'm so thankful for that. I don't want this position for me. I want who's best in the role, and I trust you'll make that decision. So, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
well, I can, you want to, yeah. Pretty good on timing. Okay. Yeah, we could.
How are you today? How are you today?
Oh, I'm just living the dream.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Especially on a Monday.
I can't hear anything. My ears are so plugged. I did tell them to turn up the mics as high as they can go,
Sleep and stuff.
but the fan back there is
A
terrible.
lot of different things. But I'm like, okay, I gotta make a list. I literally have to make a list. So
I can't hear you.
There a way to
and that's the biggest thing. It's like,
It's recirculating.
The fan that we're hearing?
They
I always
can't-
thought it was
none of
the
there-
refrigerator,
It
actually.
it is. It's
Oh, I thought
actually,
you went to, I thought you went to unplug it.
Oh, I couldn't talk anymore.
God, how can you guys?
you know, Matt, that is, and it's in that room over there. It could
Okay.
be unplugged. for
Can
now.
we?
We could.
Because that's the 3rd time that somebody said they can't really hear.
Is it the one that's in that room right
Yeah, she went in there and got the
So
water
much
out of there. I don't know if it's locked now or not.
I believe in you, Matt.
No, in that door there.
they can't hear with the fan or whatever is running, the motor to something. Used to be there was a cooler in the corner,
This
but that's
door?
not there.
Yeah, I thought it was behind
This
that
one,
door.
Matt.
Yeah.
Which one?
The one that's dark.
shut. Yeah. See if it's in
I
there.
think it's in the ceiling. It's in the
Nope,
ceiling.
not in there.
It's in the ceiling.
Herder, that's the main.
We asked Tim about it before. It's in the ceiling.
Okay.
It's part of our $50 million remodeling
Repair job.
project. If we would have spent 51 million, they would have fixed it.
Is it better over there?
It would be that loud down there.
Is it better?
versus
Is better over
if
there?
it's in the ceiling.
Yeah, oh, no wonder I tuned into something.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, I'm saying that to myself right now. Too.
Not the refrigerator. It's actually the fans that are in here.
It is.
There's nothing
Okay.
we can do about it.
Told you.
It used to be the refrigerator.
Diane.
Hi, Ann.
Hi.
Take your time to get situated.
You. Oh, you can have a water here.
Help yourself.
Brought my water.
Okay.
I also have cough drops if you'd like some. Kleenex.
All right, Ann, so there's going to be 8 questions. I think you've received those ahead of time, so we'll just go through each one by one, and good luck. So
Thank you.
Okay, I'll kick us off here. So please tell us about yourself and your background and why you have applied for the vacancy for the school board.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to interview with you. From my surname, you would never guess that I was born and raised here in New Prague. In fact, I am 100% Czech and 4th generation in this area. I am a graduate of New Prague High School, as are my mother and my son. After graduating from high school, I received a BA and then an MA, and later graduate level STEM certification, all in education and all from the University of St. Catherine in St. Paul. Additionally, I have a degree in psychology and coaching certification. So after graduating with my BA, I went to work in the insurance industry for 9 years, first in Minnesota and then in Texas, both in claims and in sales and service. I moved back to Minnesota in 1988 and spent a year volunteering and substitute teaching, mostly at New Prague Elementary and Middle School. In August of 1989, I accepted a full-time teaching position at St. Wenceslaus Catholic School. I taught there for 32 years and then retired from full-time work. The following school year, I spent my mornings September through December, homeschooling 2 little boys for the New Prague School District. Since then, I have done some substitute teaching, and I have been thoroughly enjoying life. Just a quick tidbit about myself that doesn't involve education. One of the first things I did after I retired was to be trained as an election judge, and I've worked each election since then. So why have I applied for this vacancy? I've been attending New Prague school board meetings for 3 school years now. I've developed a sincere interest in the governance of the school district. I may be retired, but education seems to still be my life's calling. I've applied for the vacancy because I believe I have the experience, the skill set, and the appropriate desire to serve as a board member.
Thank you.
Hi. New Prague Area Schools has a proud tradition and promising future. What do you see as our school district's greatest strengths and greatest challenges?
I think that our district's strengths are hands down our teachers, administration, and support staff. Over the last 35 plus years, I've had varied and multiple opportunities to work with district staff members and in different capacities, and I have always been completely impressed with their knowledge and their professionalism and their commitment to the students. So I would say that our district should be proud. Right now, I see our greatest challenge as funding. I do believe that we will need to pass a referendum in the near future if we are to continue providing our students with a quality education, and this includes retaining excellent teachers. I do see student safety as another challenge, and by safety I mean physical safety as well as cyber safety and security.
Thank you.
What would be your short-term and long-term priorities if you were appointed to be a school board member?
If appointed to the board, I would say that short-term priorities have to be settling contracts and addressing next year's budget. I would, however, consider restoring adequate funding by getting a referendum passed, a short-term goal as well. In the long term, I would like to ensure that we have the dedicated resources, both the funding and the expertise, to keep up with technological and societal changes, both in terms of educating our students as well as keeping them safe.
Thank you, Ann.
And what do you see as the role of public education in modern society?
I love this question.
Thank you. You're the second person to ask this question.
You didn't make this up.
The role of public education in modern society, as far as I am concerned, can be summed up in one word, and that word is bedrock. I've led many mission trips down into Guatemala, and I've seen firsthand what education can do in lifting up a child, a family, an entire people up and out of poverty. It opens doors, it provides opportunities that never would have been available otherwise. And I don't think we should take education for granted here in this country. And I will not settle for mediocrity or basics, not interested. So I think that I know that there are many options out there right now for education, and I think that's a good thing. But the thing is, public education has to be available to all students. It has to be well-funded, and it has to provide students with an education that will prepare them for a productive and fulfilling future. Whether that means they're going to go on to a college or a trade school education or enter the military or the workforce.
Please discuss what you see as a school board's role and what you see as a superintendent's role in running the school district.
Okay. I see the role of the school board as one of governing the school district on behalf of all students, their families, and frankly, all residents. I see the board's role as setting policy for the good of all students, all stakeholders, and in line with federal, state, and local laws. I see the role of the superintendent as one of working in partnership or in tandem with the school board, administering policy, overseeing the administration of each district building and department.
Hi, Anne.
Hi.
Please describe a time when you exhibited leadership in the greater community.
Well, I haven't been retired very long, and I will say that until my retirement, my time was really dedicated to my work, to my students. And so for them, I developed an event called Cardboard Box City. My 7th and 8th graders assembled cardboard structures, which we slept in outside on the front lawn of the St. Wen's campus in the dead of winter. Just one night, though. The purpose of the event was to draw attention or build awareness of homelessness. And the community was invited to participate by donating outerwear, which was then donated to Sharing and Caring Hands in Minneapolis. My students also solicited pledges from the greater community, donations totaling in the thousands of dollars over the years, and all of that was donated to organizations fighting homelessness. I involved community members in the early evening learning stations. I solicited businesses for cardboard boxes, and the police department was helpful in providing a little bit heavier presence always that evening. So, certainly a community event. I also organized other big events like hunger awareness banquets, but perhaps one leadership opportunity that I'd like to point to is my service on Mensa accreditation teams. Mensa stands for Minnesota Non-Public Accrediting Association, and I had multiple opportunities to go into schools, both Catholic, Lutheran, Jewish, to examine their strategic plan, tour the school, interview staff, parents, students, and then examine the documentation that they provided to ensure that what they were saying they were doing in their strategic plan was indeed happening. But since my retirement, have I said I'm enjoying life? A couple quick examples. In October of 2023, I organized an 8-day immersion trip down into Guatemala for a group of adults. And it required a great deal of prep and planning, everything from flights to in-country transportation to hotel stays and checking in with sponsoring organizations and just developing a robust itinerary. I guess lastly, I would point to my leadership with the advocacy team this past fall in an effort to get the referendum passed. In addition to attending weekly meetings, I spent a lot of hours canvassing the businesses here in New Prague and in Lonsdale, looking for support and some assistance in getting the facts out.
Thank you.
What skills or attributes will you bring to the school board that will help us govern even more effectively? What support will you need from school board members as you transition to this role?
Thank you. I am a very organized person, and I really prefer to be well prepared. I was once told by a university professor that I have horse sense. I later learned that simply means common sense. I am an active listener and a good team player. I'm pretty analytical and sometimes like to play devil's advocate, but only to really just take a look at a situation or a dilemma or a problem from all angles and see if we can't find the best possible solution for everybody involved. As a retired teacher, I will say that I have my days open. They're very flexible, so I'm available for meetings during the day. And I most certainly come with firsthand knowledge of what it actually takes to run a classroom today. As far as support from the board goes, I have downloaded a copy of Robert's Rules of Orders, the brief version. And I am busy perusing that, kind of getting my knowledge up to snuff. But from the board, I would say that I will probably need some assistance or some direction toward sources for researching policy issues, Minnesota law, education law. I would imagine I may have some questions about finance and Minnesota state law as well. That's kind of all I can really think of as far as needing support.
All right. Yeah. Please provide a closing statement regarding why you should be appointed to the vacant seat on the school board. That's the last question. So you know.
Okay, thank you. I want to begin by saying I think you guys are blessed. I think you have 4 excellent choices. But I think you should appoint me because I truly have a vested interest in this community, particularly in the education of our children. I do not currently have children or grandchildren enrolled as students here in the district, but perhaps that says something about my desire to serve all children, all families. Having attended school board meetings for 3 school years now, it would seem to me that my education and training, my professional experiences, my skill set, and my sincere desire to serve the district are exactly what's needed. And in closing, I will say that I hope you will give me fair consideration, and I also want to say thank you for your time. Your time is precious.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann.
Bob.
Yeah, we might be so far ahead of schedule now that we may not be here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna, I just said. 20 minutes. Must be sitting out there early.
Yeah.
Look tired.
I have pink eye.
Oh, really?
Doctor says today that I'm no longer infectious, so you guys are all right, but I would keep my distance if I were you.
Yeah, I think you, yeah, really. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Almost like a press conference. Since we have time, I was gonna hand out these to like our ranking.
Very nice.
We'll go through the
Very
rules.
succinct. Thank you, sir. Can you explain how this works?
Yeah, well, I
Okay.
was gonna, I don't wanna start all of a sudden then Bob
That's fine.
comes, so we'll wait till next time to.
The fact that I have no clue yet is
Yeah.
okay.
We were all here for Andy's, right? Yeah, we were, yeah. Yeah. That one was a little, I wanna do this one a little different, so. Proposing to do it a little different. Not yet? Okay, all right.
She's gonna text.
Oh, okay, good. I know, we're far.
We're about
We can
15
go.
minutes ahead. So
What's
I
that?
think- Yeah, we're a little.
I know,
bit
we're
ahead.
definitely ahead of schedule, so. So I did, here's, we'll go through this real quick, since we have time, it sounds like. The,
Trying to listen. I
Oh,
can't hear
sorry.
you. It's okay.
Okay, so I was gonna say that, so I have a ranking sheet, and we're gonna just go through it now, but since we have some time here before the next one. But really, what we wanna do is rank each candidate from 4, 3, 2, 1, so 4 being the highest, and then we'll just add up all the point totals, just to see if we can get to some point where we're, maybe have a consensus on 1 or 2, and then we can kind of take a vote from there, but that was kind of gonna be my thought process of how we could do it.
So if you and I were up for this, I thought you were best, I would give you a 4. I thought I was second best, I'd give me a 3.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
so I don't
And-
fill in all of these, I just fill in one.
You just X the one.
Only one
Got
number
it.
per person.
Isn't that what you're saying?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yep. So one number per person, essentially.
And you have to fill out all 4 numbers.
Correct, yes, yep, so.
Will we do this before we discuss?
Oh,
No, I think we do this for, I think we can discuss, kind of do some positive attributes of everybody, vote, and then see where we're at, and then, so if we have someone who's really at the top and everybody's got that person, yeah, yep. I think if we have someone at the highest point, then I think we say we do that, obviously then maybe we don't need a vote, because we kind of all feel like it is, but I think if we have top 2 that are like really there by themselves, then I think we should deliberate and then decide what we want to do.
That sounds great.
So, yeah.
That sounds great. I heard it and everything.
Yeah.
You have no idea, it's like I'm underwater.
Yeah, isn't that a terrible feeling?
I can't talk behind anybody's back because they can't sell me anything.
Yeah.
Well, you could ask
Me?
probably all of them except
Oh.
2.
me? I don't know.
We were debating if Katie was your sister.
Oh, Lord.
All
Yes,
right.
Katie was my sister, yeah. Yep, Karen, Katie,
Put
Kevin,
my glasses
Kelly,
on.
Kim.
Have you an art class?
In our, oh, yes, okay, yeah, okay. You got a better memory than me.
They helped illuminate it.
Once you say art class, then it made sense, yes.
Didn't even know.
I'd like to say that Dennis's art class is the only thing that kept me off the A honor roll one year, but whatever. Saying.
And then there probably were others that got on the A round
Yeah.
because of it.
In order to get on the B honor roll through him, I had to come in during my study hall and be a model for the Skechers. Okay. I said, is this going to give me a B? He said, yep. I said, all right, it's all good.
Yeah, that
Are you
person
saying
just
that art wasn't your
hired
top
I
priority?
tried so hard, but
Oh,
you know what?
yeah, I knew that, yes.
And Mom said, did you try? And I said, yes. And she goes, show me. And she goes, yeah, you're terrible.
It was
All
great
right.
at the
Those stick men just didn't.
Always
do it.
Nope, nope. And I had no vision, but
service.
I could shoot a basket, so that's good.
one of the few.
I
Art is such a subjective thing. Person's art is another person's.
Of course, all the contaminants in the building
this is gonna sound
probably
weird. It's
given
almost like-
everybody long-term disabilities that work
I know
there.
it when I see it. I know what's not. I know that's not. And my mother knew that's not.
In-laws did because they were like going.
Once we reset with this time, then we should probably be good on the next one, I'm guessing.
Probably.
Yeah.
No, he's, I think, relatively new to it. Relatively new.
Hey.
But dang, give him a point.
You think?
Just kidding.
Okay.
Bob, you right here. Bottle of water for you if you'd like one. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, Bob.
Evening.
Hi, Bob.
Good evening.
You've received the questions ahead of time, then we have one for each of you, so welcome. I'll kick us off with the first question, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds great.
Okay, and please speak into the microphone as much as you can, because it's just
Both of them?
noise in here is quite. We're trying to give you as many angles as possible. So
I have such a quiet voice.
there we
so-
go.
There you go.
Okay,
No.
sounds good. All right, so please tell us about yourself and your background and why you have applied for the vacancy of the school board.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to thank Superintendent Volmuth and the school board for this opportunity to interview for this school board position. I have to say that you did a very thorough and a very transparent way of doing things. I've been very impressed. You've done your homework. The questions are very good and very appropriate and very challenging, a couple of them. So thank you for allowing me for this opportunity. My name is Bob Kniff. I am probably not very familiar with any of you, so I will tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in South Minneapolis. I was always wanting to be a teacher. From the very beginning, when I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be an NBA basketball player too, so it was between those two. Well, obviously the teaching won out. But I went to college at the University of Minnesota. I got an elementary education degree there, and that was back in a long time ago. I think, Cal Stowe was the football coach. Flip Saunders was the point guard on the basketball team. So it was, Tony Dungy was the quarterback of the Gophers. So that's about the time I graduated from the University of Minnesota. It was, I got a degree in the elementary education, and at that time, teaching jobs are hard to get. I mean, they're still pretty hard at times too, but they are really hard to get. I remember I applied at Anoka Hennepin, and I remember that when the gentleman, HR gentleman, pulled a drawer out and said, "Yeah, there's 700 applications here for this one position." He slams the door and said to me, "You're just lucky you got an interview." You know what? It kind of turned me off. You shouldn't say that to me. I didn't appreciate that, but it was that was the times where it was really tough to get into teaching. Everybody wanted to get into teaching back then, I guess. So, but I was lucky enough to get a job. I graduated in December of '76. I was able to get a job in Alexandria, and it was a permanent job. It was funny how I was also offered a job a few days that night after I took the job in Alexandria. I got offered a job in Osseo, and then I got offered a job where I student taught in Burnsville. So but I chose the Alexandria one. Now my life would have probably been a whole lot different if I hadn't been picked in Alexandria. I don't know how my life would have been. It would have been interesting, but anyway, I ended up teaching in Alexandria, and I never left the place. I taught for 35 years. Most of it was upper elementary. I just really met my wife there. My wife's name's Doris. She was a kindergarten teacher, and so we had 3 children, and those 3 children all went to the Alexandria Public Schools, and were very successful, and they're very successful in what they're doing now. We're really close as a family. Family is really important to me. It's probably the most important thing to me. And so as the time went on, after the 35 years, all the kids are down here. Nobody stayed in Alexandria. I don't know why, but nobody stayed there. And I think what happened was I did some substitute teaching after my retirement. And then after that, I decided to run for a school board. There was a school board opening, and back in those days, they had, what Alexandria does is a little different than what you do. It's called a position. So you actually run against people. So it's called position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you run against people. So it's a little bit different. So you're actually, though I never wanted to run because I liked all the people on the school board, but I always told my class someday I'm going to get on this school board here in Alec. I always would tell my 6th graders that, toward the end of my teaching career. I said, I really want to be on the school board someday. I'm going to be on there someday, I promise you. And finally an opening came up, and the person left after 2 years. They were on, but it was right around election time. So what happened was there was going to be an opening, and there were 4 of us running, and I was fortunate enough to win that election. But then I also had to run again 2 years later because it was a 4-year term, and she had only finished half of the term, so I had to finish that. So I ran again. This time I ran unopposed. Nobody ran against me, so that was nice. But that's how they do it in that school district. You pick a position and you run against somebody, and that's how it works. So that's how I ended up on the school board. So I was there from 2017 to 2021, and then during that time I continued to sub. I asked the superintendent, her name was Julie Kritz at the time, and I asked her if that was okay if I continued to sub, because I thought as a school board member, I'd like to know what's going on. I mean, you really know what's going on, let me tell you, when you're right in the middle of the whole thing. And she said, go ahead, and no problem with it. And basically I was there because I liked kids. I have a passion for education, and I just really liked the kids, and I just wanted to do it. Plus, it made me visible with all the teachers, people in the community. They knew that I was still around, so that it all worked out. I wasn't there to spy on anybody or try to go after anybody or whatever. It had nothing to do with that. I just had a great experience with that. But then COVID hit, and the schools kind of shut down, unfortunately, and we just ended up talking about moving. Family. I took care of my parents. My mom, in particular, lived with us for 48 months at my house, and she passed away in 2015. And fortunately, she only had to be in the nursing home for 5 weeks, so that was really good. And then I had my mother-in-law ended up living with us for 2 years, and then she passed away on Halloween 2020, I believe, or 21. And then we decided as a family, 2020, we decided as a family, let's move to New Prague. Now you go, why New Prague? Well, I have a daughter in New Prague. I have 3 grandchildren that go to school in New Prague. And I also have 2 grandchildren that live in Lakeville, which is not too far away, as you know. And so I have 5 total grandchildren, 4 boys and 1 girl. The girl's the youngest. She's going to be a Spitfire, and she's the one in Raven Stream, so look out, Raven Stream. But we had the 5 grandchildren, and we decided, you know what? Family's important to us. We decided we're going to move. My daughter said, hey, they've got a really good school system in New Prague, and she was in Rosemont before that. Nothing against Rosemont, she said, but it's so much bigger. There's more opportunities in New Prague. I liked what I saw. So I came down, and my wife and I are trying to decide where to live between Lakeville and New Prague. I saw the golf course. I like golf. I saw the golf course. I was so impressed with the golf course. I was just so impressed with the Main Street. I mean, everything was down Main Street. I kind of like that too, because I didn't have to go too far to go shop if I had to go shop. So I really liked it. I ended up meeting Pat Pribble, used to be a principal here at one of the schools. He was one of my realtors. Pat Sullivan was one of my realtors, and they showed me a house over on the west side of town, and we bought it, and we've been New Prague residents since then, and we've just thoroughly enjoyed it. And that's why I ended up here, and that's why I'm doing that. And I guess you're asking, well, why the heck do you want to apply for a school board? I mean, you are already on one. Why do you want to be on another one? Well, and I guess it's my DNA. I guess I'm obsessed with being part of the school, be part of a school setting. I was 45 years. I never really gave it up. Even now, I'm over at Raven Stream working in the library 2 afternoons a week because of budget cuts. So I'm helping out over there. I've helped out with, they have that first grade Silver Readers program over there, so I've been over there helping out. I've been just, I help out, I coach a 4th grade little boys basketball team, and They're a lot of fun, and it's just really fun to feel that elementary setting again and realize, you know what, there's not a whole lot of difference between Alexandria and New Prague. Very little, to be honest. It's you folks have a quality school system. There's no doubt about that. And you know, my wife and I have been attending many school and community activities that we're big into. We're big into co-curricular and extracurricular stuff, and it's not all just sports. It's a very important thing as far as mental health goes. I think it's the cheapest, the best, the least expensive way to take care of kids with mental health. So I think belonging to clubs, belonging to those kind activities, extracurricular, co-curricular, the arts, whatever. I know one night I was going to a basketball game over at New Prague here, and I was walking in. Somebody said, "Hey, we're having a one-act play going on here tonight." I said, "Hey, I'm going to go to that." I think they were getting ready for subsections or something like that, and I said, "You know, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go." And my wife and I said, "Let's go. We can go to the basketball game later. I mean, you know, we'll go in there." And I said, "Let's go look." You know, so it's just about community and it's just about being part of the New Prague way, I guess, as you call it. But I do have a passion for kids. It's about promoting our communities. It's promoting our schools. I mean, we have to be positive about our schools. Every school district has some of the same problems that New Prague has, and I'm telling you, New Prague is minor compared to a lot of them. So you can understand that. So I guess my philosophy is I always believe that great schools promote great communities. So that's my belief. I'm really a big supporter of education. So it's a little bit about my background.
Perfect. Thank you.
Aye. New Prague area schools has a proud tradition and a promising future. What do you see as our school district's greatest strengths and greatest challenges?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think strengths, I like to break it up into 4 areas. I'm probably not going to answer this like the other candidates did. I'm not sure what they all answered, but I look at it this way. I look at it in 4 different ways, maybe even 5 if you count technology. But I look at talent, I look at funds, money, of course. I look at time, and I look at facilities. Those are the kind of things I look at. And what are our strengths, and what are our challenges with those areas? I think that's kind of what I look at. And I think our biggest strength, and I think a lot of people will say this, if they haven't already said, our biggest strength is our teachers, our students, our professional people that work in the buildings. I think that's our biggest strength. I see it myself. I've seen it for over 40 years. I've seen this, and I see it in the school. It's really very upbeat. The teachers are real positive, even though I know some of them are probably worried about what's going to happen in the next year or two. But we're very fortunate to have talented teachers, and I hear about teacher shortages, and I know, I'll just give an example. I went to a workshop, it was one of the school board meetings down in the cities, down in Minneapolis in January, about 4 or 5 years ago, 5 years ago maybe, and we had a teacher we had some graduates from St. Cloud State, and it was really interesting. There was only one math education graduate that graduated that year from St. Cloud State that was going to go into teaching. Only one from a St. Cloud State college. Thought that was shocking to realize. So, but we do have a lot of talent, but at the same time, we have to be. I know there are shortages in certain areas. I know in our school district, we always had trouble in special ed. Filling those spots are real difficult. But I always tell our HR people, our administrative people, get going early on interviews. Because we got to get those people, and the good ones get off the board real fast. So we'd always tell our administrators, get going on that interviewing process fast if we need a interviewing spot. Facilities, maintaining the facilities. I mean, we have very good facilities. I will tell you this. This is very true because I was part of what happened in Alexandria. We had a very rundown high school. And what happened was a lot of people, we couldn't get, we had pretty big hospital there, and we couldn't get medical people to come with their young families. Why did they not want to come? Because they took one look at our high school with leaky roofs and handicap issues and so on and so forth. Plus, we wanted to change it to a 912 and that building was only 1012. It had asbestos problems, and I could just go on. People did not want to move to our community. So it is really important that we continue to maintain good facilities, because when people come to this town to want to buy a house, what is one of the first things they look at? I want to see your high school. They do. They want to see your high school. And they want to see your school system. It's very important to them for wanting to come here. And so I think it's important that we maintain those facilities. I know there's inside the building, I really think they're very good. The high school is a very good facility. It's in good shape, and I think you can be proud of it. I know the wonderful pool you guys have. When I first came to New Prague, that's the first place people were bringing me, is over to that aquatic center. It's really very nice. It's like the top of the line. And I think the other thing that I remember being told, and I could be wrong, but it was neat that it was a kind of a city school district group policy, cooperation type thing. And I think that's important too in this day and age, is to have the city and the school district working together on projects, maybe outdoor projects or whatever. But I think those are things that are important. Now, so I think we're pretty good, but we have to continuously improve, keep a watch on our facilities. The funds, and I'm sure everybody knows about that. Everybody's talking about that. We do need funds and I know we went through the same thing in Alexandria, and we did pass our operating referendum on that back in 2019. We had zero money for levying, and we were like 313th out of 300 and some school districts. I'm sure you're about there too, as I recall. As a matter of fact, your school district and our school district, population-wise, I think we're within 150 students of each other, if I'm not mistaken. And our diversity is pretty much very similar. So it's really, the two school districts are very similar. But we managed to get it. We got a 60% vote on it, so I was pretty pleased with that. But funds are important. I think we have to do a better job of connecting with the community, and I think we have to let the people know that these are not wants, these are needs. They're not wants, they're needs. So I think that's important. The other thing that always as a teacher was always something that teachers always think about, and I think you folks talked about this at your school board meeting last week, and it's about time. I think that's always an ongoing issue every year. But I think that's something I kind of feel sorry, because there's not a lot of you can do about that, or we can do about that. Because when I'm talking about time, I'm talking about the time inside a school calendar and getting all the things you need to get done for the teachers in that time, and not taking time away from student contact. I think it was Mr. Call over here that mentioned something about I think he said something that it's always best if you have kids in front of the teachers in front of kids in front of the teachers. That was really something I totally agree with, if it possibly can do that. But sometimes you just can't do that. And that's what I'm talking about, time. And I think that's also an issue that comes up every year, and always a challenge for our administration and teachers, because the teachers have to deal with that pressure too. So those are some of the things. I think the role of a school board and some of these issues is, I think you're doing it, from what I'm understanding. I think it's called a plan for success, if I'm not mistaken, that you are analyzing budgets and trying to figure out what things you can keep and what things that you have to maybe get rid of. I think brainstorming ideas, I think that's always a big thing, that you all have something worth sharing, and I think that's important. And I think you have to work with the community. You have to really lay things out for them and tell them, okay, if this doesn't happen, what's going to happen to you? This is what's going to happen to the schools. I think you have to be pretty crystal clear about that. I think you need to get the people's attention. We need to get more people out to vote because I don't think that many people actually voted. So that's my say about strengths and challenges.
Thank you.
Bob, what would be your short-term and your long-term priorities if you were to be appointed to be on the school board?
Well, my short-term priorities, just listening, learning, asking questions of the board and the superintendent, maybe building principles, whatever the case may be. That's probably the first simple thing. I just getting to know and work with the board. I'd love to be able to work with you folks. It would make my day. Input from all the stakeholders. I know our business manager was always a really important person in our school district, and we always liked our business manager because that guy would get up there and he'd explain those levy things, and it was really nice to understand some of that. He was very crystal clear about that. So it's important to meet all the stakeholders, and then to tour the facilities. I would want to get a tour of the facilities, and maybe some people, some of the board members have probably been in this school 1,000 times. They probably doesn't matter, but I'd want to tour the facilities, meet the administrators. I'd want to meet the staff, even the cooks, the custodians, the bus drivers, whoever. These are all important parts. And I remember when I student taught, the first thing I practically learned as a teacher is you make sure you take care of your secretaries, your custodians, and your cooks. Those three are very important, and you know what? They were right, and I did take care of them. So when I needed a favor from one of them, they always came through for me. So that was really important. So those are some of my short-term priorities. Long-term priorities, I have a lot to learn. I'm not going to lie to you. Understanding the strategic plan that you have. Again, dealing with the budget. We've talked about that. Time concerns, I've talked already about that. And I think the other thing is what I like about is trying to bring the community together. And maybe it already is together, but I just feel that it's just the thing that I like the best about New Prague is when I go to an event and everybody is all cheering for the New Prague Trojans. And I saw that last year at the state baseball tournament, and I saw it I went to the volleyball game at the state volleyball tournament, and it was really cool to see the band there and to see the students in their white shirts and just the unity, and it was just hearing the school song. And it was just fun. I just like that stuff. That's just the way I am. I'm built that way. So just that's about it for that. I guess for long-term and short-term, those are some of the big things.
Thank you.
Bob, what do you see as the role of public education in modern society?
To me, that was the toughest question. That was really a tough question. So I think the public, it's public education as a modern, let me just start this by saying, I think we have all benefited from public education. Whether we went to public schools or not, I think we all benefited from research, from the university, inventions, different things. The public education, and I know in our school system, we were very close. We worked very hand in hand with our private schools. We had a Catholic grade school and a Lutheran grade school, and we worked hand in hand with those people. So I think we all benefit from public education. And I think in the past and the future, it has shaped our future. Now, it's a very complicated answer to this, but the way I take it is, I think public education equips all students, regardless of socioeconomic background, with skills, knowledge, opportunities. I think it helps with social mobility. I think what I'm trying to say is it helps bridge equality gaps. If a person has an education, they can advance, do better in the class system, if that's the right word. Public education, I think, cultivates critical thinking in a rapidly changing world, and I think you can tie technology in there. What's going to happen with technology? How are we going to deal with technology with AI coming up? Do we have to set policies for for some of these things. I'm not really sure, but things are changing so fast. I mean, if I were to go back 20 years at a time, the kids nowadays wouldn't even know how to handle school. Do you realize that? I mean, these kids are they all have their Chromebooks, and they're all zipping around with their iPads, their apps. Everybody's got everything going on. 20 years ago, folks, there was none of that. There was very little of that. So things have really changed in technology, and it's changed fast. And public education has to keep up with that. I mean, we are this technology will never go away, and we have to be able to learn to maximize and make it effective and make it work for us. And I think lastly, public education has to promote cultural understanding, and it gives opportunities to be good citizens of the world. We want our students to be really good citizens. We want them, and I think that's really important, and I think our public schools do that. I think New Prague does that. And I think those are some of the answers to that: public education in modern society.
Thank you.
Please discuss what you see as the school board's role and what you see as the superintendent's role in running the school district.
All right. If I get this wrong, will you correct me, please?
No, I won't.
All right. All right. It's all about accountability in in the end, it's all about accountability. That's just what it is. To me, it's a partnership, at least the way I sat on a school board, it was a partnership of governance and management between the superintendent and the school board. We worked closely together. I guess you can come up with superintendent management roles. I think they're probably the chief advisor to the school board. They fill the school board in on what's going on in the schools. They're the leader of the education. They help set a vision. They speak for the board. They're the communicator to the community and the schools. I think that's what they do. And they're in charge of the day-to-day operations of a school. The day-to-day things that come up. And, hopefully there won't be any big crises, but, they're the ones that have to deal with that too. School board, we're the governance. Obviously, we have to deal with budgets, along with the superintendent and everyone else. We all have to have input. In the end, though, we make the final decision. How much money are we gonna? What things do we get rid of? What things do we keep? What things do we increase? What things are we gonna do? In the end, you get the information and then you come up with a decision. That's what your job is. You set goals, set policies, and you target them. And I think, again, you help set the vision for this school district. It's all about accountability, again, to the public. That's really what it's about. You are accountable to the public, both in money and performance and education, the whole bit. And that's what we have to answer to. But again, this is a partnership between your school board, your superintendent, and your school board. They work hand in hand together. That's how I look at it.
Bob, please describe a time when you exhibited leadership in the greater community.
All right. I'll try to keep this short, but I will start after I retired from teaching, we had a bond referendum for a new high school. And I was not on the school board. I was just a substitute teacher. And I was asked by the superintendent to become part of an external outreach committee. And what I was supposed to do, and what I did do, was I would go out and try to sell a new school, a new high school, to the community. And I was one of about 3 or 4 people that were in charged to do this. I would go out to the Kiwanis groups or the Lions groups or the Rotary groups. I would go to those associations. I'd go to different groups. I'd go to small businesses. I went to big businesses. I went all over town trying to explain our need for a new school. Now, did I think up all these bullet points to help us? No, I did not. I did not think those things up, but I was given those bullet points, and I truly believed in those bullet points. We needed a new high school, and we wanted to change the way we ran our school. And we wanted to change to a 9 through 12 school. So it was really important for me to get out in the community, and it was a good experience for me, but I got to know more people, and I get the message. I think we got the message across. It was a $70 million high school, or a $65.5 million bond issue, and it was about 10 million. This is hard to believe, was private money on top of the 65.5. It was really special. It was very special. It was a big moment for a lot of us to get that new high school. We were able to change the way we did business at the high school level and the middle school level. We went to 9 through 12, 6 through 8, K through 5, which most people are nowadays are going that way. And somebody bought our building for $2 million, so we didn't have to deal with that. It was just, everything just went well. So that was something I felt I was a big part of, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Then I will tell you one little thing about when I was on the school board, how some things like that work. I was able to lead as a school board member. I was able to lead a calendar change and moving a graduation of our seniors. Now, it doesn't seem like such a big deal, but it really was a big deal in our town. And it's been bugging me for years. And we were the last school in the state to graduate. It was June 12th. And you go. And the reason I knew that was I was 3 times I was chairperson of the senior graduation party. I don't know if you have senior graduation parties or whatever. It was always on a Sunday night, the second week in June. I mean, it was a terrible time, you know. And we couldn't get kids to even go because some of them had summer school the next day, or they were joining the military, or they had boot camp, or they had something going on. So we just decided to get the ball rolling. We as a school board decided we had to change a couple of little policies, and we changed the calendar a little bit. And we went from the school board, I went to the superintendent, said, do you have a problem with this? The superintendent said, no, but you got to go talk to the senior high principal. That's the one that's going to have to okay it, not us. So I went to the senior high principal myself, and he said, whoa, no problem, but I need to go talk to the junior parents. So I went to go talk to the junior parents, and guess what? 100% yes. And I was hoping they'd just move it to the Sunday before, but they actually moved it back 9 days. So now graduation, and it's still that way, and it'll probably stay that way for a long time. But graduation is now the Friday after Memorial Day, because we don't start till after Labor Day. So that was a thing that, you know, sometimes as a board, you sometimes see a policy that maybe doesn't fit right, and you go through the proper steps, and we did. We went through some proper steps, and we, you know, you had to get support from everybody to make it work, but it happened, and it was a wonderful thing. Other leadership things, I was involved in a program called the Elder Network. I was vice president of that. It provided interaction and support with elderly people in the community. That was a very worthwhile endeavor for me. I enjoyed that, but of course it was all about raising money too. You know, everything's always about raising money, but it was a nonprofit organization. I also was a radio broadcaster. I had a chance to do it here in New Prague too, but I didn't do it because the gentleman here said, well, I only do a few games at New Prague. I go to other schools too, other sites. And I said, I was going to do football. I would be the color guy on the football games. And I think his name was Chris Adamson, I believe his name was. And I said, I only do 4 football games. I said, well, you know, I want to follow all 8, so I think I'm going to pass. So I gave up my broadcasting career. That was very short. Sure, I mean, but I had it after I retired, and I did boys and girls hockey, I did boys and girls basketball, football, baseball, and softball. So that kept me busy. I'm right now in New Prague. You're wondering, well, do you do anything in New Prague? Well, that's what counts anyway, right? Well, I currently serve on the golf board. I found out I had an interview for that job too, and somebody else had applied too. I remember Kurt Rilling, the golf pro over there, said, "Well, Bob, I hate to tell you this, but somebody else has also applied for this job. Usually people don't apply for those volunteer jobs, but you probably aren't going to get that job." But so he was kind of easily breaking it in for me. So, well, I was fortunate enough. I had an interview with the mayor and two of the city council people, and I was very fortunate enough to get the job. And it's been a great experience. And you talk about budgets, it's budget city every month. And then we have to answer to the city because we are just an advisory board, as you probably well know. I also coach youth basketball. I have a fourth grade travel team. They will be performing at halftime tomorrow night, so I'll be there tomorrow night. We practice a couple days a week, and then we have tournaments on different weekends, and it's been really a lot of fun. My grandson, of course, I coach, and all those kids are just nicest kids. It's just so much fun. I actually very much look forward to it. I volunteer, again, as I mentioned earlier, 2 days a week in the Raven Stream Library. I help out wherever I can there. Nice people there, just really nice people. So that's a little bit about my leadership in the community.
Thank you.
What skills or attributes will you bring to the school board that will help us govern even more effectively? What support will you need from school board members as you transition into this role?
I'll go really fast. I see my time's almost up. I'm in trouble here. All right, I will go fast. Good question. I guess here are my skills and attributes. I'll go down the list here. I've served on a school board for 4 years, so I kind of know the game a little bit. I have experience with bonding and operating referendums. I've dealt with both. I'm a team player. I think that's really important. You want somebody, whoever you pick tonight, make sure they're a team player. I work well with people. I'm a good listener. I do listen. And I don't jump to conclusions right away. I try not to react so quickly. Sometimes that's actually a good skill to have, especially being on a school board. I understand the chain of command. I think that's important on the school board. I understand that's important. I have some skills in maximizing budgets. I've had some experience there. I keep things confidential. Issues that are confidential, I keep confidential. If there's an issue that needs to be confidential, I keep it confidential. That's very important as a school board member. I have the keys to work with people. I am retired, and I have energy to do work for the school and the community. And I guess it's in my DNA, it's in my blood, I guess. I have passion for education in general. I just really like the school setting. What support do I need from the school board? Well, your goals and your policies that you're currently working on, I want to know that. Your immediate challenges that you have, I'd want to know that. Meeting with stakeholders, and I mentioned that earlier too, but that's important for me to meet with people, to put a face to a name, things like that. I need to know, I need to know your traditions of how you operate. I don't know if that's clear, but just your everyday operation type. I would like to know that. And I would, probably part of that would be asking questions and listening and learning. And then just getting to know every one of you, because I really don't know any of you, to be honest. Though I think, Mark, I did see you at a Gopher basketball game last year. You were there. I was with Pat Pribble, and he said, "Hey, that guy's on the school board." So, but I did see you at that, and Mr. Call's my neighbor, so I know him, and he didn't even know I was his neighbor, so. But anyway, but I would like to get to know every one of you. Whether I get this job or not, I really would like to get to know you people, so.
Thank you.
All right, last question. So, thank you for coming. So, please provide a closing statement regarding why you should be appointed to the vacant seat on the school board.
Well, that's a pretty easy question for me. I want to be part of your proud tradition and your promising future. I do like that. Proud tradition from the past. I like that. Promising future. I like that. Future. It fits me perfect. I really like that. I already have experience. I think, why I should be appointed. I think I already have experience in being on a school board. I have an open mind, like I said, with no hidden agendas. I have no hidden agendas. I'm not here to, the only thing I'm here to do is promote the best quality education our kids can get. That's what I'm here. Whatever that takes. I mean, that's what I'm here for. If they're asking me, what is it that you're here for? That's what I'm here for. I'm a team player. I'm very much a team player. I have a passion for the power of public education. It's very important. I also plan on being a visible school board member. I plan on being at school events. I want to be there to, if it's a robotics activity, if I can get there, I will go there. Just to show that I support it, if nothing else, and just to let them know I care. If you let people know you care, it's amazing. It's amazing how things can get done so much better. I promise, and I guess my last statement is, I know I've only been in New Prague for 3 years, and I know, but I hope that you will take a chance on me. I know that's asking a big, I know, I get it. I get this whole thing. But I'm hoping you'll take a chance on me. I have an open mind. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to learn. And it's a big challenge for me to be on 2 different school boards. I bet there aren't too many people that have ever done that in the state of Minnesota. But I promise you will not regret having me on your school board. That much I can guarantee. In closing, it's time. I want to thank you. I want to thank the school board for your service and demonstrating what is right. You know this one. Committing to excellence and showing people you care. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have water over there, don't you?
Steroids.
Yeah.
Karen, you have water, don't you?
Yeah, she's got water. She's got
I
cough
got
drops.
water, I got pop. I got cough
Making
drops.
sure.
He's even got
Nothing's helping.
Mountain Dew.
I want steroids.
Yeah.
You need NyQuil.
She's got halls.
I'm glad I'm not sitting where
I'm gonna have a
Danny
Yeah.
Hey, I've got the power.
Yeah.
I'll watch next
Yeah,
meeting.
you got the power.
Yeah.
Till about Saturday.
Yeah.
No, my immunity is great.
Buying it. I never get sick. Been exposed to everything.
I even fly an airplane just to try to get sick.
Now I don't have time, and I should go.
But
Karen just plays too much pickleball. That's her problem.
I haven't played pickleball in over a
Was he? No, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Really?
that's true.
No, I didn't see that.
20 minutes before, I thought, oh, they'll be
I was
time.
waiting and waiting and waiting so I could go back to him. I thought, okay, I gotta give it up.
You did not know he was your neighbor.
Oh, yeah. I kept
Nice guy.
picturing him over here and I kept thinking, oh my gosh. Okay.
This guy run into a bar.
Not socialized.
No.
That is surprising. No, I'm kidding.
No, that doesn't, yeah.
One more.
Just depends. I
Don't know
think a lot
who
of
that is.
people are that way.
I did not know that she was
At
back
least
there
until
all
you
the
get to
time.
know somebody, or you have
Oh,
Her
somebody.
name is
that.
Kathy. I just went back there to go in there and cough, and I went, oh no, I'm coughing on you
Yeah,
now.
she runs the controls.
Yeah. So I got to listen, so that was good. Okay.
Time goes by fast too.
I went the opposite direction. Yep. Yep. I think this one should be On time, I guess. Oh, she can.
I think he chased Dennis. He chased Dennis out of here.
I know. I know. Oh, I was gonna say you can hear Mike's sound.
I'm with you.
Not too much of this already.
Mark.
Dennis had too much of this already. He left.
Oh, Mark,
Past his bedtime.
Mark told me. I didn't realize it.
That was him?
No, he was. Yeah.
I saw that.
Well, he has to be well into his 70s, isn't he?
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
I think he's 80.
Because he had been here for a while, even when I went to school.
I think he's in his 80s.
Yeah. Early 80s.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nice to see him come, though.
Yeah.
Sister told me.
He was no spring chicken when I was in school.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
a
say.
long time ago.
That's why I
He was
should've-
already in his late 30s, I'm sure, when I was there.
Yeah. Farm or something?
Oh, perfect, thank you.
Welcome, Melissa.
Hi.
Take your time to situate.
Let me get a drink quick, sorry.
Yeah, our only words of advice will be to make sure you speak into the microphones as much as you can.
Oh, I'll move over. I'm just, while I'm taking a drink, sorry.
All right, there's 8 questions. I'll kick us off. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so please tell us about yourself and your background and why you have applied for the vacancy on the school board.
Well, hi, my name's Melissa Horish, and I'm originally from Sioux City, Iowa, so I'm not from New Prague, although I did marry into the area. I met my husband Craig in Mankato, where we went to school, and we moved to a few different places. We lived in Portland, Oregon for a while, and Las Vegas, and then we had our daughter, and we decided we wanted to come back and have her be raised close to family, and be raised in the Midwestern values that we grew up in. And so we moved back to the family farm that my husband was raised on. My daughter's the 5th generation to be on the family farm. It's a hobby farm now. I don't farm. And let's see, I'm a public school teacher. I've attended public school through my whole life. And I teach in Apple Valley, Egan, Rosemont in the school district. And I am a teacher of the blind and visually impaired, so I'm a special ed teacher. My licensure area is for birth to age 21, so I cover all of the, well, now 22 with the new legislation. So I cover a lot of ages and ranges and growing. About myself, I love working with kids. I've been a volunteer my whole life and realized doing the resume that I volunteered for kids my whole life since I was about 10, actually. And I just love making a difference and being active in the community. And I applied for the vacancy in the school board because now that my kid is not in the schools anymore, I felt like, okay, first I have more time because I'm an empty nester, and I like giving back to my community, and I felt that this was another avenue to do that and the next step to be able to help out with the schools.
Thank you.
Hi, Melissa. New Prague Area Schools has a proud tradition and promising future. What do you see as our school district's greatest strengths and greatest challenges?
So I wrote a lot of this stuff out so I wouldn't forget, but I would say that the the greatest strengths and the challenges are kind of one and the same, is that it's the community is wonderful, and the proud tradition that we come from in New Prague is that there's the support from the community historically and currently, although sometimes it doesn't necessarily feel like that, especially with the levy not passing. But I would say with the community feel, they historically have been super supportive. About a year or two before we moved to New Prague was when the community voted for the opening of the 2 new elementary schools. So my daughter was able to attend Eagle View because I live out in the country on the east side there. But we're a supportive community. You see all the New Prague gear all over everywhere you go in the New Prague area. And even when I'm driving up to my work, I see New Prague Trojan stickers on the backs of the vans and things like that. And so our community, you can tell, is very supportive. I think sometimes part of the challenge is that there are a few negative voices that come out as well, and then they get bandwidth, which is important because every voice matters, but it's also important to remember that overall, the community is really supportive of the schools. And so yeah, that's just trying to make sure that we have a safe place for the kids and everything with the community as well. Thanks.
Melissa, what would be your short-term and long-term priorities if you were to be appointed to the school board?
So I would say the short-term priorities are fiscal management, and the long-term priorities are fiscal management. So it's about the same. And understanding the policies that are in place and working with whatever the legislation, and coming with whatever the legislation comes down and interpreting that as well. So the short term would be working on the fiscal need of, unfortunately, having to make some cuts. And the long term is looking forward years down the road on how can we, as a school district, continue to grow and have high-achieving classes, high-achieving students, high-achieving school district within those fiscal bounds, and then hope that we can work with the community to build more of that support and pass the next levy.
Thank you.
You bet.
Melissa, what do you see as the role of public education in modern society?
Well, first off, when I saw the question, I thought, well, this would be a really good doctoral thesis statement, but definitely not going there. So the role of public education, in my opinion, in modern society is similar to what it's always been, and that's to provide a good education for all students and to do it in a way that gets them ready for their future and to help out our community. So there's a lot of students who want to be teachers and lawyers and welders and mechanics, and we need to have a school district that meets them. We have students who know one language, like myself. I'm only a one language person, but there's other students who know 2 or 3 or 4 fluently. There's students who love coming to school and students who despise coming to school. And the role of public education is to meet all kids and to try to get them so that they are growing and learning and achieving and becoming that promising future.
Please discuss what you see as the school board's role and what you see as the superintendent's role in running the school district.
I look at it as a partnership, and I look as the superintendent's role of more of like the general manager, so they're the person that is overseeing all of the buildings, the operational aspects, and the staffing, making sure that everybody there on the ground are doing the jobs that they're supposed to be doing, and then answering to the school board. So then the school board's role is to set policy, interpret things from legislators and make sure it fits for the school district. And then to kind of be the community liaison and really facilitate the stakeholders and things in the community so that we can build support and then work with the superintendent.
Melissa, please describe a time when you exhibited leadership in the greater community.
This one was really hard for me because when I originally thought of the question, I looked at it as this big leadership opportunity, like who, the coming in and swooping in and helping out. And then thinking about it more and more, it's more of the little parts of being a leader, like a quiet leader, and being more of a facilitator and a team member. So I have a little bit of experience with that, and I'm a 4-H mom, and so I've been an adult leader for like 10 years, working with kids and facilitating some of those groups and things, and at the club level, the county level, and at the state level as a chaperone. It's been awesome. And also, I've been a facilitator at our church, and we have a racial justice team that I'm the facilitator in, and so just kind of working with the team. And then coming here every once in a while and speaking to the school board. I've done that a couple of times. And so with those, it's more of speaking issues that were really close to my heart and things that I thought were really impactful and important, and then trying to do so in a positive way, and to try to work for the good instead of just being a complainer.
Thank you.
You bet.
What skills or attributes will you bring to the school board that will help us govern even more effectively? What will you need from school board members as you transition to this role?
Well, I'm super organized. That's one. I'm a folder within a folder type of person, and it bothers me when I have more than like 50 emails in my inbox. I have to move them off and organize them. That drives my husband crazy. He thinks that's nuts, but that's totally me. I'm also really on time, and I'm a believer of being early and being prepared. And I am pretty good at parliamentary procedure because of being that 4-H mom. That's one of the things that do. The kids run their meetings using that. So I've had about 10 years experience of that. And I like to research. I'm one of those people that like to dive deep and dig into different areas. If I don't know something, I'm very open about not knowing it. I'm certainly not the most intelligent person in the world, but I enjoy learning things and diving deep into figuring some things out and having an open mind and listening to other people.
Thank you.
And then, I'm sorry, and you said what support? I would say, 'cause I want to follow both of them, I would say the support that I would need is I've never been a school board member, so that would be something that's completely new for me. As a teacher, I just know the other end, and as a parent and community member, so that would be just making sure that if I need feedback, that I get it quickly, so then that way I can correct myself and be the best board member possible.
Thank you.
All right, last question. So please provide a closing statement regarding why you should be appointed to the vacant seat of this school board.
Well, gosh, all of the things that I've said earlier about my skills and attributes, my volunteering, my love of the community and students, and wanting to do what's best for them, I think that having that skill set, that personality that I have, my perspective, and just my lived experience would make me an asset and why I should be a future board member.
Great. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You bet.
You.
Thank you.
I made it.
You guys need like a break at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's take
I want to
like,
fill out the ranking.
yeah, fill out you can, yeah.
So we can hand
Let's
them
take 5 minutes, so, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go to the
I'm
bathroom.
going to fill out the
Yeah,
ranking.
okay.
I can't go any longer.
We can, I think what I really want to do is make sure we talk through like people's opinions of, everybody. But yeah, you can do it before or after. I think it's fine, so.
Filled yours out?
I have not filled mine out yet.
I have.
Okay.
I won't show you mine, and I don't want to influence you.
Do you guys want your dinners quick? Start munching on while you're delivering
Sure,
box lunches?
I'll take one.
Actually kind of forgot the fact that it was happening.
Someone's scrolling.
Well, that went well.
Yeah.
Nice people, you know. Y'all seem to be very collaborative.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Sandy. Are you all done with your coughing? Good for you.
Yeah, nothing's, everything in public.
Okay. I wasn't sure if this
Yeah.
discussion part was or not.
Nope, everything.
Steak sandwich.
They're all steak sandwiches.
Good.
Yeah, we'll have deliberations, a vote, and then.
I thought you'd want a pork chop or something. Come on.
Work session.
No, I've eaten enough pork in my life, Dennis. I need something different.
County.
Oh, fine. It's really, I've been like trying not to work like Sundays and stuff, and so I've been like, my goal this year is I'm not going Sundays, and now I've hit the point where I'm like, okay, just kidding. I don't know. Now I know why I do this every year. Like, so, because it's gotten to the point where I can't keep up. 3 hours, 4 hours, just like getting back. Like, I don't spend that much time just doing that, and not actually. Yeah, I know.
You.
He lives about 8 houses down. I know his realtor, does that count?
I know
Both realtors, yeah.
Well, Jenna was like, you want our. Oh, where, am I? Not really, but.
Are we eating?
You can, while we're debating or talking.
Where did you get that?
Yeah.
This funny looking steak.
Oh,
Janelle.
where's yours?
Yeah.
You're looking,
It's okay, I have cough drops.
I said I'll have a
Janelle.
steak sandwich.
You
She said
got
they're all
one?
steak.
She didn't get her sandwich.
Here you go. Yeah.
Pretty light colored for steak.
Okay. Yay. Oh, thank you.
Never heard of that. And everybody else.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for saying hi.
How are you?
What is it, too? Okay. Are we taking a little time here? Is that cough drops?
opposite sides of the thing, an apple and a chocolate chip.
I don't know what you would.
Okay.
Oh, yes, okay.
She did the same job that your mom did.
Home ec teacher. Fast. Fast. 1885 home economics, teacher of the year.
All right, so we now enter the decision phase of this evening regarding our candidates. So as I quickly had gone through, I just want to as we'd gone through a little bit while we were waiting for different candidates to interview, I thought it'd be a good idea. We did this similar to when Mr. Volmuth was a candidate. Yep, I know. But is to do some overall rankings on individuals. So in front of you, just to try to help us narrow things in a little bit, just because I know last time I think we had like 6 candidates or 7 candidates, and we wanted to make sure we were able to get to our top 2, and then from there maybe we would do some more deliberation, or maybe somebody rises right to the top, you know, based upon people's opinions. But before going into that, I just really wanted to make sure that I want to make a point of that, just thanking each individual for taking their time to come do this, because I mean, it's not every day that you get drilled on public television by 6 different individuals, and I just wanted to make sure that I know I personally appreciated each individual. I think we have 4 really good candidates, quite honestly. So I just want to say that, and then I don't know if there's anybody else wants to make comments regarding.
I love all of them had feelings of collaboration. You know, they understood that as a board member, you're just one person, and that you have to be working with the other people on the board to make the board work. And I think they understood that, and were very much collaborative in their feelings of what a board member should be.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to talk, but I don't think I should. No later.
Any comments? Mark, Kim?
No,
Dan?
I just, being a team player, and I mean, that was big, and loving kids and doing what's best for the kids. For the kids is what I mean, every single one of them stated that.
Andy?
Yeah, if I may, I think I'd echo what you said, Mr. Goldaddy. You have 4 really, really good candidates, and on behalf of the school district, I want to thank them all for their willingness to raise their hand at a time when it's not always so easy to be a school board member, to express an interest in doing that, and to do it publicly like this. So I think we have 4 very good candidates, and I think that you can't make a bad decision. I really believe that. I think they're different, but you have people like was referenced, are willing to serve the community and do what they need to do in order to make this proud tradition and promising future even more so. So I think we're really lucky.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So in front of, with that being said, we have a ranking sheet. So what I would like each individual to do, and then maybe Sandy or Janelle can be our independent person to take it and compile these, but whatever. But rank each person from 1, 2, 3, 4, with actually 4 being your highest. So we're going to give points totals essentially. So 4 would be your number 1 choice, 3, 2, and 1. And then at the end, we'll add them all up and see who has the most point totals. So everybody gets a 4. Everybody, there's got to be a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1 on your.
Just X in a box.
No,
Yes.
you have to have a number in your box.
Okay,
No.
so when you say
but
4,
if I
3,
X
2,
your 4
1,
box, it
Yep.
makes it
for
4, right?
each person?
No.
Just
So
4 for
there has to
1,
be
3
one
for
person who has a
1.
4, one
Yeah.
person who has
I
a
assume
3,
that if I put
one
it over
person
here,
has
it's
a
gonna be
2,
the 4.
Okay,
one person
because
has a
I
1.
was
So
starting to think the
Okay.
other way.
is everybody clear on the rules?
I think so.
So, okay. So go ahead and take a few moments if you're not done yet and do that.
Eat these sandwiches.
Once you're done, I don't know if you just want to toss them up here, or maybe Sandy can take them, and sorry for volunteering, you know.
Once the numbers person, always the numbers.
Yes.
She's the numbers person.
Lucky Sandy. Right?
Where'd these come from?
Coburn's, I bet.
Actually made them internally. I think they're
You have
from
to talk
our,
louder than that.
I think they're from our, food service.
Oh, like
Our
our kitchen?
kitchen?
Cool.
Yep.
Oh, really?
That's lots of
I
stuff in
believe
here.
that was what I requested, because they're so good.
Are they your apples, Dennis?
Oh, no, no, they're not. You were,
You weren't able to get the district locked up as a
not enough
science?
color. They're lacking color. Oh my gosh, there's a green point on the bottom here. That'll never
Really
do.
cold.
It's not bad, but it's not Havlicek's, that's for sure.
What variety is this?
I would say it's probably one of those national ones like Gala or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. Just seems so.
Ones that we can't grow in Minnesota, nor do we want to.
They're foreign apples?
No, they're probably American, yeah. Not Korean or Chinese.
It's not from Canada.
You gotta be. Yeah, they could be from Canada.
Yeah?
There are parts of Canada that can produce decent apples, but.
Yeah. Getting pointed out in the crowd. Yeah.
Bring me back to about a year ago, and I'm glad I'm sitting here.
I know.
A little nicer on the other side of the table.
I was actually going to say this one actually was. I mean, I'll wait to say, but I think this is actually tougher than. I had such a clear mind that it made when it came to you that I think this one's actually tougher. Plus, I had more days to think about it too. I mean, not that I've had less days here, but. Hope it all come back all equal.
I will say
Seems
that,
so
as they're talking, one of the things that I will do, probably not tonight, but in the very near future, is I will follow up with each of the candidates on behalf of the board, thank them again. You know, they'll know the decision, I'm sure, because they'll get this information before we're able to get to them, especially if they're wanting to watch this
Right now,
live
yeah.
or have somebody sharing the information. But I will on behalf of the board, and so if there's anything you would like me to share with them or anything specific, just send me that in an email and I will include that. But I will do
I
that.
can't hear you.
I will do that in the.
You will do what?
I will reach out to all of the candidates.
Oh, good.
And let them know, I'm sure that they're going to hear about this information from others
Okay.
before I can do that, but that's one thing that I will do on behalf of the board.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Just want to repeat what I said before,
I think
you know,
this
as
is
far as
taking
being
longer than the-
collaborative in their nature and
I
Voting
know.
night.
work together.
Not that
That's
long.
crucial. That, to me, that's the most crucial thing a board
Howard
member.
compile them that night, though?
I think it was the guy.
Yeah.
First,
Okay.
importance of passing a referendum.
Yes. No, that was right. Well, okay. All right, so we have two candidates who have risen to the top. I would say that's, sorry.
Thank you.
They have two candidates that have definitely risen to the top. So we have Jean Schmidt with 19 points, and then Ann Christie with 18. So those are two that are very much, by themselves, really sitting at the top there. So only 1 point apiece. So not sure. This is open for deliberation at this point. I think there's no precise way of doing this, or whether we just want to do a vote or want to have any additional comments that people would like to make for one of these particular comments. I mean, it might make sense for each of us to, if you have the wanting to make a comment about one of these two candidates, so if you want to try to influence the other people at the table to vote in a particular way, I would, I guess, entertain that right now for people to be able to have that opportunity to speak on the person they want to see to be the next board member. So, not sure if
I'll go.
go first. Yeah.
Did you say me?
Yes. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to get this in before I start to cough. Both of them, for me, were very impressive. They were both my number one and number two. So we can't go wrong with either one of them, to be honest with you. I think Jean's strengths are that she speaks well, she speaks intelligently. She said it a number of times that we're in this all together, and I like that about her. I know she worked tirelessly on the levy program last year. I like that too. She just jumped right up and said, I did want to do this to help. I think a lot of her statements had a lot of diplomacy and had a lot of depth to them. And so I like the idea. I also like the idea that she's been working in a lot of different areas with kids, ski club and hockey and lacrosse and things like that. I was very impressed with Anne. I think one of the first things I liked about her was that she has experience in both business and education. She spent, I think she said 10 years in business and then went into education and spent a lot of time there. So I like the idea that she's got experience in both places. She's certainly got education in her background. She's got a BA, an MA, she's got a certification in STEM. She's got a psychology degree. She obviously is someone who applauds education and lives through it. I like that. I also liked her answer when we asked what she might need help with, in that she might need help understanding school finance. Certainly I did, and I like the idea that she doesn't think it's easy, because it's really not. But I'd also like to say that Sandy is a gem, and she would do anything she could to get school board members up to speed. I like them both.
Thank you. Danny, do you want any comments?
I'm very much in the same camp as Karen is. I think either one of them could be the top candidate in my books. I like the idea that, Anne is retired. She says she has the time that's available to be able to maybe do some extra work for covering issues or getting on top of things as far as an issue that needs a little bit more research, whatever have you, and that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm not saying that Jean wouldn't make the time, but Anne made that a part of her presentation, and I get it. it would be a good way of her filling her time. I think she feels as though it would definitely be a good use of her retirement time. I just was real pleased with both of them, as what I was with the other two as well. But these two, in my mind, stuck out furthest.
Sure. Okay. Any comments on Kim, Dan?
I don't have anything to add that Karen and
Sure.
Denny didn't already say. They were very good, and both of those two stuck out in my mind, too.
Yeah. Mark?
I think all the candidates were really good. Jean and Ann, I feel were the top two, I guess. I would add that when I was on city council, and also the last time we had to appoint, last time we had to fill a vacancy on the board, we went with the person that was in the election, the last election that was only a year away, and Jean was in that. I'm not, they're both great, so that's all I have to add.
Okay. Dan, any comments? No? No, I'll echo, again, a lot of the same things that have been said already. I mean, things I wrote down about Ann was like direct, kind, concise. Those are the words I wrote down about them. Jean, I had like passionate, caring. One thing I wanted to make sure I made note of, like, so I'm the opposite. So I think maybe because of the lens that we look at things from. So like I looked at like she has students still in the district. So I like that piece of it as well. Just knowing having the children in the district right now as well, I think is important. So, but no, I think both candidates are good. I'm not sure if we want to do last time we did like a straw poll, like just so we were unanimous when we came down to if we want to do like an initial vote of how we want to do this. So initial vote. So like, and then we can vote if we want to be unanimous in our final vote. So, so let's do. So right now, just like by a raise of hands, Ann. Okay, and then Jean. Okay, so.
I'm good with that, too.
Okay, all right, so I think so that being said, do we have to do like no, because our official vote's going to be actually not in.
Right, we're going to
Not
have
until
a special meeting where we
Thursday.
will
Yes.
bring forth a motion.
Thursday, 8 o'clock, we have a special meeting, AM, 8 AM, that we'd have to actually appoint. In this case would be Jean. It looks like we're in agreement if we're okay with that.
And we'll do it in the form of a resolution.
A formal resolution at that time. It would be Thursday at 8 o'clock. Go ahead.
Is that special meeting public?
That is public as well.
Okay.
Yep, everything is public regarding this.
I
So,
would assume it is.
yep. So, all right, that'll be our special appointment. Our appointment then would take place on Thursday, then at 8 o'clock.
If
Go
I
ahead.
may,
Yep.
so 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. here, Thursday, special meeting for appointment. Jean, who's your selected candidate, as I understand, won't be sworn in until the March 25th, the school board meeting, because
Right.
there's a 30-day window per school board policy, and so she will be able to participate in the audience and do different things, but won't actually be sworn in until our business meeting. I think it's on Monday, March 25th.
Yes, yep.
Yep.
All right.
Again, I would just say
Yeah.
thank you to all of you for the time tonight, but I would also want to say, and I will reach out to the candidates and thank them. They made it tough to pick someone because there were 4 people who are obviously very passionate, very informed, and did a really, really nice job. So it's a good problem to have when you're hiring. But thank you.
Yes. All right, with that being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting and go into
So
our
moved.
work session. First,
Second.
the first and second, those in favor signify by